All right, guys. This is the secret history living in your aquarium, and tonight I'm excited to share with you a beautiful rainbow fish named the Rhadinocentrus ornatus. Now, that's quite the name, and from their name, it means radno, meaning to be slender, and centron, meaning spike or spine. And some people say that's because in Greek that's referring to the spikes on their dorsal fins, on their front dorsal rays between the males and females. Other people online say that it has more to do with when you look at the males, which we'll look at soon. We've just saw a group of females. The male is right here. Got a couple males in here, but the male, a full-grown male here, the centros could also just be referring to the spine, the line, how they have that line down the center there that splits kind of their coloration and their finnage. Now, the males have a little bit longer body and nice blue eyes. They've got two dorsal fins, both the females and males, but the females have a longer dorsal fin and a longer anal fin there that runs the length of the body. And also the females tend to be kind of blue and silver and gunmetal gray, if you would call it that, I guess, with iridescence. See that beautiful blue iridescence on the mature female there at the top of their body. And then the males have that iridescence also. And the males are really neat in that they have, if we take a look at it, if we get it in the right light, they have a split both horizontally. There's a split down their lateral line of dark and then kind of a red color, a rusty red color with blue. There we go. Here's another male with some blue in it. And then they also have a split from front to back under the right light of looking orange or red at the front of their body and then looking kind of silver and blue on the back. So yet again, this is a fish that with age, another rainbow fish that really grows, and you see different colors. It's a really cool fish. It's not seen outside of the aquarium hobby of Australia very often, but once in a while we do get some samples into the United States. And this one that I have here, look at that blue on that female there. The iridophores are incredible on these fish. And on the males, you see black on the edge of their fin rays. And on the tail, you see actually a red caudal dorsal, or a caudal fin on the edges of it. And the caudal peduncle, or the area leading up to the tail fin, as it were, has more iridophores on it again too. So pardon these pencil fish and kohaku and cochise tetras and ember tetras and all the other critters that are swimming by. But here's another one. Here's a female, and you see that she's got that nice blue color in the back, plus that blue shimmer on top. And if you look at the light here, it's a full spectrum light that I have here, Twin Star, but there's not that much blue in it really. So she's really just shining that off as any light hitting it. It did that with natural light shining on her also. Now the younger ones are a little more nondescript. They look like pseudomagills. They're a little bit bigger than pseudomagills. I would compare them to kind of the dwarf neon rainbow fish. If you were to stretch them out, they're kind of a stretched version, which their Latin or Greek name is pretty fitting with the radiant part of it. So the other part of that could be they were discovered by a man named Tate Regan in 1915 or so, and they're found all over the Queensland coastline and then inland. They're found in standing pools of water on the backside of sand dunes, but freshwater, and then they're also found in jungles and subtropic jungles in Australia for around 350 to 400 kilometers currently, up and down that coastline on the north central eastern coast of Australia, really. They're found in streams, rivers, and the little lakes, and they live with Ivanstoff and Pseudomagil melis, as well as some of the other wallum critters, little gobies and dace type minnow, little type minnow and pupfish creatures, almost like killifish. And they can withstand a pH all the way down to 5.5 or 6 and enjoy that, but they can also withstand some minerality and a teeny bit of salt in the water. And so they need clean water and water being changed, but unlike a lot of the pseudomagills and other rainbow fish that you find, like Boesemani or Chelantheri or any of those, these ones actually live in black water very frequently. And so that acidity and a little bit higher TDS and tannins is actually something that they're found in naturally. Now, I've been told that in the hobby, they're able to withstand neutral water just fine and breed. They're egg scatterers, and they scatter their eggs onto different things, like this moss will be perfect. They'll every morning wake up and scatter their eggs. In the wild, they have a diet that's mostly made up of bugs and little copepods and crustaceans, little shrimp and things like that, as well as a little bit of algae and a little bit of vegetative matter, only making up about 7% of their diet. But there is more vegetative matter in the stomachs of some of the little fry and other critters they eat in the Daphnia and things like that. Yeast and pollen actually makes up 20% of what's found in their gut in studies. So that's kind of interesting. We don't know if they're just eating the pollen off the top of the water or what, but in Australia, remember, the seasons are flipped from ours here in the States, and so they actually reproduce November through kind of January. So this is a perfect time to have them coloring up right now. These were caught by Gary Lange and brought back and bred subsequently in his fish room, and then passed on to Eric Olson. These are the Searys Creek or Searys River, Searys Basin little area, which is another wallum, as they call it, which is like a bog or kind of like a coastal wetland, kind of like an estuary, but freshwater estuary with jungle debris in it, lots of grasses and tannins in it, wood and things like that has just kind of settled into it. Now, of course, like most rainbow fish, they're going to enjoy the top, and they're also going to be prone to jumping. They're pretty jumpy. If we show them in the water, they can skitter off pretty quickly. They're quick, which makes sense, and that streamlined body, they're going to be a lot faster than some of even the pseudomagills that have bigger finnage and so forth. But you can feed them flakes. They do need a pretty high protein diet. Live food's always better, and they can tolerate kind of big temperature swings compared to some rainbow fish, in that they can withstand a swing from anywhere from about 68 or 20 degrees Celsius, 68 Fahrenheit, all the way up to 30 degrees Celsius, or about, 86, 87 Fahrenheit. And a TDS they can take a bit higher, although they do like a lower TDS, which is interesting because of that acidity factor. In the wild, it's a little harder to get that low TDS in very acidic water. You know what I mean? The acidity comes from the tannins and things. Here's another look at that male from the side. I was hoping to get the red to show off horizontally, but laterally is how he's showing right now. But they color up in the morning the most, and this is a nighttime viewing right now because I just got them settled in this tank. But they're beautiful fish. The males have the more striking blue eyes. The females have kind of a copper or topaz color mixed with blue in their eye, which gives them kind of a unique look. But they're a great little fish, and I highly recommend that any of y'all try these as a community fish. I'd say that a 20 to 40 gallon tank is ideal for them, but you know, you can put them in a 20 long, I would say, with a lid if you just want to get them to spawn. And like I said, they're egg scatterers, so you're going to take whatever they scattered their eggs on each morning, and you're going to take that and pull it away from the adults because they'll eat the fry, and then just put it in a container and let it hatch. In 10 to 12 days, you'll have baby fry. And each adult, if fed high protein diets and given a good water change, should lay anywhere between 2 and half a dozen, maybe even 10 eggs each morning. That's kind of their MO, and stick them to different surfaces, and then the males come around and check that out and check it off their list as the females go around sticking them to things. So they're just a really cool fish. There you can see the horizontal red. You see that there, guys? While it's out of focus, it actually shows up better. But just a really cool fish. As all rainbow fish, they are color changers. Depends on their mood, their diet, and what they're doing. They come in 4 different main species morphs based on location. Some are threatened, some are endangered, and some are kind of in the clear, so to speak. But they are all beautiful. You see red and black and silver and blue and orange and pink and purple. All different colors kind of work their way in. A little more subtle than some of the other rainbow fish. But the red and blue combo is very common in this fish. So just another really cool smaller size rainbow fish you don't hear a ton about. Also the ornatus means decorated, so also known as the ornate or decorated or jeweled dwarf or pygmy or slender rainbow fish. You know, the hobby is yet to come up with a good name for them in the States that I've heard. But another cool fish, and they like a lot of stuff up at the top to kind of hide and also to feed on any, you know, water fleas or seed shrimp or daphne or anything else that could be in that water. And as well as kind of a dither, because they like to shoal. So other fish that shoal and that are calm are going to keep them calm. And same with bigger catfish and things at the ground that are peaceful. Anything like that kind of will keep them calmer as long as it's not a predatory type fish. So really fun fish. I would recommend blacking out the sides, or at least planting heavily like I have here, so that they don't think they can go straight through and bash their face on things like half beaks do, and so that they don't take a leap of faith out of the tank with a running start, which I've seen them do in several species. But yeah, a beautiful fish that you could do a cool biotope for. If you want to learn more, keep checking back with this channel, and I hope you appreciate the little species profile spotlight we did on the Rhadinocentrus ornatus rainbow fish. Beautiful little guy. Probably about 2.5 inches max. 2 is more standard, but I've got some 4-year-olds, 4 or 5-year-olds probably, the older ones of the group, that are fully max grown and maybe past their prime for egg laying, to show you guys the full range. You know, most kind of hang out in that intermediate size range for the first 4 years of their life, and then kind of get a last growth spurt, but they're not the best at breeding after that point. So all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves, your critters, and have a great night. I'll talk to you next time on The Secret History, living in your aquarium.